We need more cowbell!
Okay, today I got a, this is called the Heavy Contractor Package, day cab. We stock these, we buy them in blocks, so we get good pricing on them, guys. So this one is a 389 short hood. And so when I first started driving, this would have been my dream truck, but I was in a Kenworth T800 slope nose, and I had a 460 Cummins N14, and this one has a 565 Cummins 1850 torque with an 18 speed, which is awesome. So I'm gonna go through it real quick with you here. This one's a 14.6 front axle running Meritors. It's got the wide track option. It turns really nice. Again, it's 565, 1850 torque. I had to beg my boss to turn mine up to 500. I thought I was in heaven after that. Battery disconnect. Polished air tanks outside the frame rail, and this one is running dual stacks. Put beacon lights on top, extended rear window, air ride cab, 100-gallon tank on the other side, 120 on this side. It's a split tank on the other side for your hydraulics. Real quick, I want to talk about this. This is a J560. So if you buy a truck from that's off the lot and your ABS light on your trailer is giving you fits, it's a high likelihood that the hot wire for your ABS was moved to the center pole on this guy right here. And what you have to do is you have to take it out and you have to move it back to your trailer harness. Little trick for you, might save you a lot of brain damage. So full deck plate back to the fifth wheel. We scooted this one pogo stick back. It's 40 to 51 inches, depending on how engineering deems it to go. And running Bridgestone 24 tall rubber, Peterbilt over rims. So we are running Meritor 46,000 pound air track suspension on this, but the Meritor. And as you can see there's a lube pump and even a filter. And one of the things that I've recently learned about Meritors versus the Danas is when you have a lube pump on here, that lube pump is always running. It's always working. Unlike a Dana, it only works whenever your rear tires start slipping and your front tire is not working. So what happens is, when your truck is new, your front axle diffs might run about 50, sometimes even 70 degrees hotter. And that's okay. From what Meritor is telling me, it'll happen, and it could be especially on hot weather because these trucks are running so hot and there's just not as much air flowing underneath them anymore. That front diff is going to run a lot hotter, and it's okay for that to be that way. Typically it takes about 40 to 60,000 miles for the truck to break in, or the axles to break in, and your axle temps will come down a little bit. Not to mention that summer only lasts so long. But with that said, you know, the splines and the gearing are all touching at all times. So even when you're under acceleration or deceleration, there's very, very little slack in the rear ends. And that's why if you watch your axle temperatures when you have a Meritor with a lube pump, you're going to see hotter temperatures. So little trick for the day. This one has a air slide, 30-inch air slide with a no-tilt New Holland fifth wheel. As you can see, it locks in place. And they finally made a nice little storage area for them. So on our split tank, this one's running 55 gallons on this side, and then you have your hydraulic tank here. I did forget to mention that this one has the heavy duty panel eye and the tapered bumper. I also failed to mention that this one is drum brakes on the rear. It weighs around 18.5, 18,438 exactly. A 391 gear set on this truck. Now on the future stock models, we're going to have 2 more gauges in there, so the gauge cluster will be well filled up. You do have multiple switches for your front rear diff lockers and then your full lockers here. Traction control, ABS off-road, all your beacon lights, some spare switches. Everything is all in there. So if you have any questions, give me a call, 970-518-5520. We have these in stock. And actually we have some getting built, I should say. They should be in stock shortly. But if you have any questions, give me a call. 970-518-5520. We'll talk soon. Stay safe, everybody.